name's Mara Bateman, and I'm an acupuncturist here in Boise, Idaho at the Boise Acupuncture Cooperative. And I am going to talk to you today about essential oil acupoint therapy. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's stimulating acupuncture points on the body using little bits of essential oil instead of a needle. So it's something that you can do on yourself at home during this time of social distancing when we can't get to our regular acupuncture appointments. I really like essential oil acupoint therapy in general. It's really, really gentle, and you get the stimulation of the point as well as some aromatherapy from whatever essential oils you happen to be using. You can use basically any essential oil that you have around. Most people, a lot of people, have at least maybe some lavender or some tea tree. If you are using tea tree, I would encourage you to use just a very small amount or to dilute it with a little bit of some other carrier oil, whatever you have around, coconut, olive, almond, I don't know, whatever you got, because tea tree is a little bit more intense on the skin. But lavender, super neutral, super great, and whatever you have around will really work with using really small quantities. If you do have just lots of essential oils kicking around, as some of us do, just as a sort of general note, there are a lot of different kinds, and you can get really specific about their different natures and personalities and uses. However, generally speaking, just if you smell them, ones that smell brighter, spicier, citrusy, sort of exciting, those ones are generally more stimulating and energizing. So you use them to feel more awake or focused. And then ones that smell woody or kind of floral, sweet, those are earthy. Those are generally calming, sedating, or heavier oils. So those are for calmness, for sleep, or sometimes for sensuality, some of the more floral smelling ones. And just as a general rule of thumb, bright citrusy ones you probably usually use on the head, and woody ones more on the feet. But that's kind of extraneous information. Don't really have to get into it. You could just use one oil over the whole body if you want to. So the points that I'm going to talk about today are can be used for a variety of things, but they're generally geared towards feelings of anxiety, stress, agitation, maybe some crankiness, generally used to calm the spirit and the body, and then for sleep, for insomnia, if you're having trouble sleeping. And there's one point specifically that is really used for sleep, or if you are really, really very anxious or panicky. So let's talk about, first we'll talk about the locations of the point, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do to them. So one point that you guys I'm sure are familiar with, or very likely are, is yin tong, and it is right between the eyebrows. It's basically like your third eye, if you're into the third eye. So right there, pretty easy to find, right where the eyebrows join. My glasses are kind of really right there. All right, and that is a great point for either calming the mind, clearing the mind, anything like that. Another point that I really love for agitation and anxiety is right here, right in the center of the chest. And that, is also kind of it's also your heart chakra area, so if you're into that. And that is called Ren 17, or conception vessel 17 is its number. And it is right in the center of the sternum, and it's a little higher than nipple level, and usually if you just slide your hand right down the center of your sternum, you'll feel a tender little hollow. And you'll notice a theme with acupuncture points, that they're often in a tender little hollow. So there you go. So you slide your hand down your chest, right above nipple, it's right there. And obviously I'm touching this through my shirt, but when we do the actual stimulation, you want to be on bare skin. Okay. And then another point that you've probably had needled if you have acupuncture and is really wonderful also for calming the heart, agitation, that kind of thing, is called pericardium 6. It's also called inner pathway, and it is right on the center of the arm. Let's see, how can I show you? Take about 3 fingers, measure up from the wrist like that, and then you go right between those 2 tendons. And I actually only have 1 tendon, and some of us are like that, but you just go on the medial side. And again, tender little hollow right there. On this side, I actually marked it. So that's what that looks like. Boop. And this is going to look a little bit different on everybody. I have really freaking short little arms. So, you know, it's going to be a little bit different on all of us, but just right in that area. It's also a point that's used a lot for nausea, morning sickness, motion sickness, that kind of thing. 2 more points. One point that's really great for sleep and doesn't actually get needled very often because it freaks people out, so it's a really great candidate for this type of therapy, is kidney 1. It's the first point on the kidney channel, and it is right on the bottom of the foot. Just put my foot in your face here. You can see that little dot right there I drew? Not the freckle, but the dot that's right in the center. That's it. So basically when you come down right into the center of your foot, below, well, it's actually not the center, but right below the ball of your foot, there's again this little valley. When you press on it, the whole foot kind of curls in around it. That's kidney 1. Okay, and then on the other side of the foot is liver 3, which I also drew for you here, and it is in the valley between the first and second toes, the bones of the first and second toe in the foot. And that point is more indicated for if your feelings are more stress, agitation, anxiousness, that type of thing. The one on the bottom of the foot is very strongly grounding. For sleep, this one's more like you're cranky, you got menstrual cramps, pain, it's that kind of point. So you can use your discretion. All right. And what are we going to do with the points? Let's get a little closer to you here. Okay, so when we're doing an essential oil therapy treatment on ourselves, you can just put a little essential oil on your finger and hold it over the point like this. That works fine. What I like to do is, when I learned how to do this, they called it making a snowflake, is you take a little cotton ball and you tear a little bit of it off and make a little snowflake like that. Well, there's the camera. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, it's like a little bit translucent. It's very thin. You don't want it to be too thick, or the cotton ball will get all the essential oil and your skin won't get any. So you make your little snowflake, and then you choose your essential oil. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'll do yin tong since that's easy, it's on my face. And maybe I'm feeling a little bit cloudy headed, so I'm gonna use some bergamot, but you can use whatever you want. I couldn't find the lavender. So you just put your snowflake on your finger. I'm gonna take my glasses off for this so that you can actually see what the heck I'm doing. You put a couple of drops, maybe even just 1 to came out. Whoops, okay. And then you take that and you put it right on the point. And sometimes you have to make it happen. There you go. Okay, so now I've got this weird little band-aid on my forehead. And now I can proceed to treat all the other points on my body. I could place one here, place one here, on my feet. You can use any combination of the points that you want, or just one. But the great thing about treating, I look really funny now. The great thing about treating them with the snowflake method is that then you can put that on there, and then you can lay down and rest as if you're having an acupuncture treatment. So you can just lay down with these on there for I don't know, however long you feel like laying there, and get the stimulation of the point, and that way you don't have to hold your finger on the spot. So, just to quickly review the points again, yin tong has got a weird looking thing on it, so you know it's there between the eyebrows, the chest, sliding down the center of the sternum until you find that tender point just above nipple level, right over heart center. Pericardium 6, you take your 3 fingers, you measure up from the wrist approximately, you slide down. You should also find a little hollow there. Sorry, it's like twisted and that makes it weird. There you go. Sole of the foot, little hollow around which the foot bends. Top of the foot, little hollow between the big toes. All right. I hope this video was useful to you and you can use some of this to stay calm and not get too annoyed at your spouse, kids, roommates, pets, whatever, during this time where we're all kind of packed in together, for better or for worse. We'll be thinking about you and sending love. I hope you're well and you stay that way. Thank you very much. Have a good one.